The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
Welcome to another segment of the UCW Radio Show. This is your host, Lou, a.k.a. Falcon Coparis, and I want to thank our listeners again, as I do every show. Thank you for listening, tuning in. We try to put on the best show that we can. We bring on some of the greatest guests that we can bring on, and we're bringing them on for you. And I need to let sponsors know. Advertisers, marketers, sponsors, anyone that's looking to tie into the UCW radio show, you can do that. We just opened the doors this week for that. So all you need to do is go to ucwmagazine.com to find out more. And in just a little while, we're going to have a special guest. This guy created a company called Omni Consumer Products. His name is Pete Hottelet. Omni Consumer Products, what they do, and it's interesting, what they do, they create products based on a movie or television show, but products that don't exist. So let's say you're watching a show and they have XYZ can in the show of a drink or whatever it may be, or a bag of potato chips. They actually produce this. So it's very interesting and very innovative. Pete is definitely the epitome of the American dream, because he took the risk of doing this, and he was able to tie in with HBO and really be tied into the hit series True Blood, which is ending its second season now. It's going to go probably be around for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years or 7 years or something like that. So he tied into that, and he created a brand, and the brand is a True Blood drink. And it's an exact replica of the drink that they drink in the series True Blood. It's amazing. But this came from the mind of a guy that had a dream about doing something like this, and he does. And he's created a lot of different products that we're going to go into on the UCW radio show as we move ahead. But right now, before we go too deep into that, because I'm going to allow Pete to talk about his ventures and Omni and True Blood, I'm going to let everything come from him, his words. But I need to let our listeners know that you can actually call in. You can find out who the guests are. Just go to ucwmagazine.com. You can find out who we have on the show on a particular day. We're trying to keep it fresh and updated. Of course, sometimes things are subject to change. Sometimes a guest may not be able to make it for one reason or another. Things happen in life. We're all human. So if that should happen, our apologies. It's really it's out of our control. But anyway, the call-in number, you can leave your questions and comments for our guest. You can call in to 323-952-4369. That's 323-952-4369. Make it interesting. We want our listeners to be a part of the show, so get involved. And again, sponsorship, we just opened the doors for that. Go to ucwmagazine.com. And if you're on Twitter, then you can shoot me out some questions or comments for our guest or for me. My Twitter name is Louis Velazquez. That's LouisVelazquez. So follow me and tweet away. Now, without further ado, let's bring on the man that launched True Blood, the drink, based on the hit HBO series True Blood. This is the man, this is the myth, this is the legend. Well, not a legend yet. He's working towards it. Here is Pete Hottelet. Pete, it's great to have you on the UCW radio show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Great to be here.
Awesome. We always, and I say this every show, we appreciate the time our guests put aside for us, especially now. You have a lot of things going on. I understand that. And now it's Friday. We're going into the weekend, so I don't want to hold you up too much. I just want to give a brief overview of who you are. You're Pete Hottelet. You are the founder of Omni Consumer Products, or OCP. Your company is actually involved in bringing fictitious products that we see in movies, on TV, and stuff like that, but you take it from the screen and you bring it into real life. And I find that interesting. Can you tell us what brought you to launch such a company?
Well, we were watching the movie Idiocracy by Mike Judge, and it just sort of had this drink in it, and it just sort of woke up in the middle of the night and was like, you know what, this is a really good idea. Somebody needs to make this, and from that point, it was just a matter of making it happen, really just sort of making like a million phone calls, getting the right people, to call you back, figuring out, just all sorts of, different avenues of, things you have to sort out as far as production and warehousing and all that sort of stuff.
Of course.
But yeah, the main thing that makes something like this happen is just deciding that you're going to do it. And, that's why I really think that this is the sort of thing that anybody can do, if they want to do it badly enough. I mean, everybody has the capacity to just sit down and pull themselves up by their bootstraps and, do something super awesome.
No doubt about it. And in your case, you were just watching something and something hit you and you ran with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had never, when I started 3 years ago, I had never made a drink before. I had never, even launched a retail product before. And it was just a matter of figuring it out. And when you, basically dump every penny that you have into doing something, you're sort of forced to figure everything out really quickly.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. So, it's pretty motivating. But, at the base of it, it was a really good idea and it resonated a lot with people. And they really enjoyed it. And that's sort of the key thing is, if you're having a good time, everyone else is having a good time. And if one of your primary, focal points in creating something is, am I doing the right thing? Am I making all of the right decisions?
Mm-hmm.
In order that people are going to have a good experience,
right.
That they're going to enjoy this when they get it. That's how you know that you're doing everything in the right way.
Right.
You might have, bumps in the road here and there, but, ultimately it's all about the people that are getting it and, really making sure that you're doing your best to, make them, excited and make sure everyone's having a good time. You know what I mean?
Right, no, I follow you, and the thing is, starting a new venture is always scary, but exciting at the same time. And you took something, a thought, an idea, something that just hit you, inspired you, and you got it done. And OCP, you've been doing it. You have a number of products, and instead of us going through all the products, what I want to do is focus on the one that you just launched recently, because I find it interesting that you were even able to do this. Okay, I find your whole story interesting, and your latest product is based on a TV show. Okay, you have vampires nowadays, like the big craze. And you got Twilight, you got this, you got that, you got the HBO series True Blood, and you saw an opportunity with that. And you went out and you got something done. How'd you go about doing that? Again, and I keep sounding redundant, but I find what you've done so far very interesting. We're not going to go through all of that on this show, but we are going to have you on at a later date because I want to tell your story. I want you to tell your story, but we're going to really get into it at a later date. But today it's about True Blood.
Okay. Yeah, True Blood is a pretty exceptional product. It has really been a labor of love to get this made and brought to market in the short amount of time that we've had to do it. I had actually been working on it with HBO before the first season came out.
Okay.
And basically on on the merits of Alan Ball's name. Not even having seen the show, not knowing anything about the show at all. But I had seen 6 Feet Under, and he had done an amazing job on that. That was his previous show on HBO.
Yeah, great. And I have to say this: 6 Feet Under, great show. The ending was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a really, really great just series and idea, and just the writing and the characters and everything were just really, really good. So, seeing this coming up was, obviously an amazing opportunity. And HBO has, they've just been great the entire time. Obviously with all of these things, actually getting the license takes just months and months and months and months and months of just waiting, and get a little bit of progress and then more waiting, and to see the first season pass, and then the writing on that was just great. Your excitement level just starts to build and build and build and build and build. And then we were finally able to start actually producing the drink about 3 or 4 months ago. And then it was just, there's the starting gun of the race, and you just gotta jam. And it's basically been 18-hour days.
I can imagine.
Since June, probably, in order to get everything done and made. I mean, the product itself is amazing. It's a completely custom 14-ounce blood red glass bottle. The product is a very high quality premium soda. It's a blood orange soda, sweet with cane sugar. So no high fructose corn syrup, which a lot of people are very concerned about. It has about as much caffeine as probably a Coca-Cola. Okay. So it's not an energy drink. It's not, all these sort of, really high energy products that are going to get you all cranked out of your skull.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. If this was an energy drink, so it's not like I don't want to mention the energy drinks, but it's not like them that get you all hopped up and spinning around in circles. And not that I know anything about that, but it happens.
Oh, believe you me, I mean, there's a time and a place for getting cranked out of your brain case. But
yeah.
This is, that's just not what this is about. I mean, vampires are very, they're very regal and very solid. And this is a great, smooth drinking, tasty, solid product. And it's, we've had a tremendous amount of access and just great amount of support from HBO and everyone working on the show and the actors and just everybody. And that's why we were able to put together such a great product. I mean, the bottle itself is replicated 1-to-1 from the actual props on the show that all the vampires drink out of.
Nice. So
even the 4-pack, the cardboard 4-pack carrier that it comes in when you order online.
Right.
That's again, that's directly ripped from the show.
Oh wow. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. If you're sitting there, you're watching True Blood, you're a fan. You get a 4-pack of this, you're watching it. It's kind of like you're part of the show in a bit, in a little way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when you really look at, people spend $3.50 on a coffee. They'll spend, $3.79 on a 12-ounce Red Bull. When you buy this, you're getting literally 2 pounds of glass and liquid per bottle. I mean, that's how heavy duty this thing is.
Oh wow.
It is serious business. It is not cutting any corners whatsoever.
Oh wow. Yeah, well, if you go to Starbucks, then you're probably spending about $12 a coffee, but that's neither here nor there.
They call it a venti because it costs $20.
Yeah, there you go. It's not even the size of the money. But I'm happy that you said you talked about how the process of you getting this, because I want our listeners to really understand that they see the end product. This is stuff they go to the store and buy, but it's you take a lot. There's a lot of work involved, because you just can't come up with the product and say, I'm going to get it out. You have to, get your permissions, get your licensing in order, and so on and so forth. So it takes a lot, and it's really interesting how you tied into HBO with this. And I know that, and this is just me doing research and everything. I know that some people out there, they criticize it for this, that. I think it's great. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to please 100% of the people.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think the correct approach, is, to really look at everything holistically and say, ultimately, when you think about what the attributes of this product are, what are all the right decisions that we need to make?
Mm-hmm.
And so, replicating the glass bottle in the way that we did, extremely important. Making sure that the actual soda inside actually tasted good, and that the overwhelming majority of people would think that it is delicious. Also, extremely important. Obviously, when you're using higher quality ingredients like cane sugar or whatever, or you have a pound of glass in your bottle, it's not going to cost 99 cents.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, as we continue to ramp volumes and what have you, that price will probably ultimately come down at some point.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, because the more product you're selling, obviously you're doing more mass, so it allows you to reduce your cost, which you can reduce the cost to the consumer.
Oh, absolutely. And to the other point, is we're not making that full amount. I mean, when this goes to retail, the product is being marked up twice.
Right.
So it's being marked up at the distributor level and then it's marked up at the retail level. So, I absolutely, it's important for people to understand just how exactly the business works. And it's, there are a lot of people working extremely hard, to make sure that they have a quality experience. And, there are a number of different links along the way and a lot of different hands that this goes through, that every product goes through,
yeah.
To make it on the shelf.
Well, of course, because you go through your development, then you have your bottling, you have your this, you have your that, and then by the time it leaves you, from your labeling on down to putting the cap on the bottle, all that stuff, and to getting the box, so your 4-pack, and doing that, your packaging, everything else. By the time you get it out there, you get to the distribution level. Then from there, but yeah, by the time there's a lot involved, and again, before it hits the store, that bottle has been through a lot of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you wanted to go down the list of the just insane amount of logistics that you have to go through, I mean, even the ingredients don't all come from the same place. I mean, all of the ingredients that go in the drink formula are, those all come from different places, and then you got to get those to show up at the filler at the same time as the bottles and the caps and the packaging, and then the outer packaging, and then the bottles have to be labeled, and then, you get all that done, and then, there's just a million things that need to get done. And we have been extremely fortunate that, we've been able to basically nail so much of this stuff. I can't speak for what other companies' experiences are like, but, the folks that we have working on this are, extremely dedicated.
That's important.
We're all fans of the show, so.
But that's important stuff, because we're not talking about other companies, so it doesn't even matter. What we are talking about is Omni, and we're talking about True Blood, and when you for all intents and purposes, I mean, yeah, you're tied into a hit show, you're tied into HBO. It's a massive cable station, but you started something from nothing, and you did a grassroots situation, and you built it up, and now you're where you are right now. So yeah, having great people there by your side and pulling with you, there's nothing better than that. And that only breeds success, but that comes from you. That starts from the top.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea came from me, but I mean, the success, the success comes from the people that buy the product.
Sure.
I mean, if it weren't for just the insane amount of love that, people out there are giving to this stuff, there would be no company, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's reciprocal, we put a lot of effort into trying to create something really good, and, putting our heart and soul into it, and, trying to make all of the right decisions. And, when people get it, as they have been, I mean, people have started getting their True Blood this week, actually.
Oh, good.
They've been getting it early. And, you look on Flickr and people are just going nuts about, how excited they are and how they, just love the flavor. We did an event this weekend, and almost every single person was like shocked about how good it tasted. And that's ultimately, that is really what it's all about. I mean,
sure.
Take your radio show. I mean, it's the people that listen that make the radio show what it is and give it its character,
Sure.
When you're thinking about, what do I want to put on my show? You're thinking about not what you're going to put on the show, but you're thinking about who are the people that are listening to the show,
Mm-hmm.
and you're connecting with them before you even make the decision of what to do. You know what I mean?
No, you're 100% correct on that, and again, it's not something that you can just jump into like with what you're doing. You just can't jump in there and say, okay, I'm going to do this and call it a day, and the hell with the people. You can't do it because the consumers, the people they're listening to the show, the people that are buying your products, these are your fans. These are the people that'll keep you in business, as you said, and help get the product further out there and create longevity for that product. And,
absolutely, and it's really, it's basically a public-private partnership.
mm-hmm.
I promise to get the product made and available, and you guys tell me what you think and how we can, anything we can do to make it better, and make your experience better. And we'll do everything we can to make sure that it's as good as it can be.
Well, I mean, I think you're doing a great job, man. Pete, you're in a niche market, and I know that you're not a publicly traded company because if you were, that I have 1,000,001 questions for you. But because I mean that's something I can get into. I can sink my teeth into that. No pun intended. But what type of growth do you see? Not so much. Well, I'm going to say your company because you're in a niche market. Not too many companies are out there doing the things that you're doing. You have co-branding, marketing, stuff like that, where you're dealing with McDonald's and things like that. But what you're doing is actually creating something that's fictitious in a TV show like True Blood, and you're making it real. That doesn't happen all the time. You don't have too many companies doing that.
Well, it is sort of a tricky thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's different than, you might go to the gas station and see like a World of Warcraft Mountain Dew,
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically Mountain Dew with World of Warcraft on the bottle.
Right.
This is different than that, and it is basically crafting something completely unique and different from nothing. And that's, I think that's where a lot of the greatness of these individual products comes out, is that it's, not just something else with a sticker over it. There's an incredible amount of thought, and effort that goes into making them, unique and special and actually quality, that, you're not going to get at, in just a regular soda with high fructose corn syrup in it at the gas station.
Right.
Ultimately, it will be in extreme widespread distribution, so it will be very available. But as far as just regular marketing tie-ins that movie companies do,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it can be a little bit of a tricky thing to sort of have this long-term vision for how a property or how a brand should play out. And I think the thing about Alan Ball and a big thing about why this works so well as an idea is because you look at 6 Feet Under,
Mm-hmm.
and that show went on for 5, 6 seasons.
Yeah, about 5-6 seasons. I mean, again, just to pat him on the back. I watched the show. Initially, I wasn't into it, but then I got into it after I actually watched it, and to see it to the finality and to the closing of the series was amazing. Genius.
Yeah, and so that's his whole vision is taking a long-term approach to things. And so to have somebody with that scope of vision, to work with somebody like that, is, makes something like this a million times easier, relatively obviously, but,
Mm-hmm.
it's that level of forethought, that really makes this thing, as, pertinent and as potent as it has turned out to be, and as it will turn out to be, over the next 2, 3, 4 years,
Yeah.
As the show continues and as the season continues. And I guarantee you are going to see a lot more of this sort of thing, coming out of Hollywood in the near future. Just looking at the way that their profits are breaking down. You're looking at DVD sales. They're getting a lot of competition on DVD sales from companies like Redbox or Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Even Blockbuster is starting to set up like DVD kiosks. So that DVD sales are still huge.
Mm-hmm.
Box office ticket receipts are still huge. But they're not what they used to be, And so, in thinking about, what is the future of what this business is all about, this is definitely part of it. And so there's that angle, and then there's also, the part of it where if you really love a movie, or if you love a show, or if you love, you feel a very strong connection to, some piece of media, it's a really great thing to be able to get the actual product from that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes the whole narrative and makes the whole story just come so much more alive. And
Right.
It just brings it out into the real world for everybody that is experiencing it and watching it. So that you can have your True Blood, even though it's not Sunday night on your couch. You can drink it at work. You can drink it, for lunch. And, you can have that, some amount of that same fun, outside of your house, out in the real world.
No, without a doubt, I think that the tie-ins, or actually, that's not even the tie-ins. Is you're taking something that is on TV and you're making it real. Where how many times? I mean, you sit there and you watch something, television show, movie, like wow, that sounds pretty good, but it's not real. And you're right about Hollywood and their profit margins sliding down. That's the way, that's the world we live in right now. And I mean, technology is key. For you, thank God, it's all about something tangible, which is a drink. So, in your case with True Blood, people just can't duplicate it or replicate it. They would have to buy it in order to experience it, and they can connect with the show. And I think that's an awesome way. It's very innovative, and I commend you on that, because what you did, you took a risk. But that's what this country's built on. It's about taking taking a risk. Putting. Let me just say, just putting your balls on the line. Okay. Let me just put it that way. You have to, I mean, that's what you did. And you did that, you put your money behind it, and you worked hard, and you got it to where it's going, and you're still growing, and you're still advancing, and it's still a struggle, but things, what you're doing is like the epitome of the American dream, going for it. And that's what you're doing.
I mean, that's America. I mean, I think a lot of people in this country get bogged down with the day-to-day stuff of, I got to go here and I got to do this and my boss is yelling at me and whatever. And it's really easy to lose sight of, your own potential as a person. But that's ultimately one of the greatest things about this country is that you can literally do anything you want if you want to badly enough.
Sure.
Just figure it out and work hard at it. It's really, it's disappointing in a lot of ways to see people, on the train or whatever that have sort of given up and they're just sort of gray and they're, you can tell that they get up, they go to work at 9, mm-hmm. they leave at 5, mm-hmm. they go home, they sit there for 4 hours, they go to sleep, and that they're not happy and that there's something in there, something inside of them that they would really love to be doing. Maybe it's like horseback riding or they want to be a painter or, they want to go be a lumberjack or, whatever it is, right? But for whatever reason, they've resigned themselves to not do that and to live this sort of day-to-day existence. Mm-hmm. And
it's sad. It really is.
Maybe it's sad. Maybe it's comfortable and people it's safe and comfortable, and that is a really attractive decision to make. Because taking a risk is absolutely not comfortable.
No.
And it's not safe at all. I mean, you're basically risking your future. You're risking everything. But,
sure.
I mean, when you really think about it, nobody has a guaranteed future of anything. I mean, look at what's been going on in the country in the past few years anyway. I mean, there's no guaranteed future.
No.
I mean, so to just internalize that understanding and then also understand your own potential as a person, that you can do anything you want, whenever you want. You just have to want to badly enough, and you have to decide to do it and then do it. If we had more people doing that, I mean, we would be just taking so much ass.
Oh yeah,
in the world.
Yeah, but
all the time.
But without a doubt, the other thing is, and I believe this, that in this world, and these are the facts of life, you have 100% of the people, where you have 98% of the people, the followers, or you can consider them sheep. You have the other 2%, which are the shepherd or the leaders. These are the people that actually forge forward. These are the people that run the risk. They'll put everything on the line to go and accomplish or reach for their dreams. Okay, these are the dreamers of the world. These are the people that brought us electricity, that brought us the internet, that brought us this, that brought us that. This is how this country has built up, through innovation. Not everyone is an innovator. Even though people, maybe they have it in their mind, they want to do something, but they can't do it because they're afraid of success in some cases. Or they're more comfortable, as you said, just following. But, when the sheep start following the shepherd, when the shepherd starts following the sheep, then you have chaos, and you have the shepherd stepping in crap along the way, and that's not good either. So everybody has their place, I guess. And it's just, you made some interesting points, which is pretty cool, because I like having these interactions, these conversations, because we're all about inspiring people, and we are in America, and this is the land of opportunity, and I wish more people would go out there and reach for their goals and get it done. And with that said, let's get back to True Blood.
All right.
Now, tell us about the drink. Where can it be purchased, True Blood?
Okay, so we started shipping last week to retailers.
Okay.
So we are actually getting a full list, but it's a pretty hefty list. It's Spencer's, Hot Topic, Borders, FYE. We started shipping last week to them, so it will be on shelves at those locations as soon as they report back to us. Okay, our distributor has gotten it, and he's stocked it at these outlets, and here are the addresses. So we'll be posting those on the website, but you can order it online on HBO.com, also on TrueBeverage.com.
Let me ask you something, Pete. Are the actors in the series, are they going to be part of the marketing campaigns with True Blood?
Oh, absolutely. We had a launch party at Bondi on July 27th.
Okay.
In San Diego, and the actors were there. We also did an event in Boston with Nathan Ellis and Rutina Williams.
Okay.
From the show, and people had a great time at that. That was actually just this last weekend.
It was just it was this past weekend?
Yeah, it was at King's Bar in Boston.
Damn it.
Well,
I would have went.
So don't be bummed out. That's the sort of thing that will continue to happen. Again, there's a tremendous amount of access, and just all of this stuff is being done in a great spirit of partnership with everyone involved with the show, and that's a huge part of what makes this work in the way that it works.
Okay.
And it's really about extending that sense of partnership to the fans and to everyone who loves the show, because we love the show too.
Yeah. But I think it's great the way you have it set up, and again, I find that unique. It's beyond the tie-in. Is that you're part of the show. When they're in the show and they're lifting that drink, is like, okay, I have it right in my hand.
You do, and in the way that we've created it, it literally is one-to-one exactly what you see in the show. It's pretty spectacular.
Well, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I don't know if you can go over this, because I know it's going to go through it has to go through the distribution phase and hit the stores and everything. But can you give us an idea of what the price is on them on True Blood?
It's $3.99. Well, recommended retail is $3.99 a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's currently what it's retailing for on HBO.com.
Okay.
The retailers haven't given us exactly what prices they're talking about, but it should be in that range.
Okay, in that range, about $4 a bottle, that type of thing.
Yeah, so I mean it's competitive with the 12-ounce Red Bull, which goes for about $3.79, or a large coffee. So it's
as I said, if you shop at Starbucks, you can buy a 4-pack.
Right.
Yeah.
Looking at the demographics of the people that watch the show, it's really not that far out of anyone's price range to be able to get at least one bottle. You know what I mean?
Just to have the experience of like just having it in your hand, feeling the weight of the bottle, drinking it, just feeling it. I'm sure. I mean, you told, what'd you say, it was about a pound?
Each bottle is 2 pounds.
2 pounds, just to feel that in your hand. It's like it's like getting into an old Corvette Stingray, and you just press the gas. You're sitting there, you feel the power, just within your hands. So that's the type of feeling I think that you would have with that drink. I haven't tasted it, so I can't even give you my opinion on it. But I'm sure when it's available in stores, I'll give it a shot and let you know what I think. And I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. Pete, what's the website for True Blood?
So it's TrueBeverage.com.
TrueBeverage.com. They can go there, and you have a link going to HBO that they can go purchase the product and have it shipped to them.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You can also get it on the HBO.com shop. Actually, that's the same shop. So.
Oh, same thing. All right, so they want to buy a T-shirt for the show or something and buy the drink. They can do all that in one place.
Yeah, they have all sorts of cool stuff there. They have the branded glasses and I think they have hats and all sorts of cool stuff you can get.
Oh, so you go buy your True Blood T-shirt, your hat, and you buy your True Blood drink. One-stop shop. HBO. That's the way to go.
There you go.
Now I'm going to ask you this. This is going to be probably my last question in regards to True Blood. Do you think that the Twilight film series that's out, do you think that's going to help just by default in getting more recognition for the True Blood brand, because you have the series on HBO and that's fantastic. I'm sure there's going to be longevity there, but when people, I mean, there was like some sort of craziness with Twilight, same way with Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and things of that nature. Kids just flock to it and they embrace it, and they bought all the products with it. And Twilight, you're not going to have a Twilight drink. It's not going to happen. The closest thing they can come to is what you have. Do you think that's going to help you by default?
I can't really say. I mean, Twilight is definitely a younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is sort of a kid thing, whereas True Blood it's a show for adults.
Right.
And the product is a product for adults. It has an adult price. And
yeah, you're right about that. Sure.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
If some of those people, some of the older ones are sort of growing up past Twilight. True Blood is a great. It really is a great story, and the characters are really good. And everything about it is just really good. So.
Well, I'm going to say something. I will admit this, that when that show first came out, I didn't watch the first couple of episodes, and I started watching it, and I got in it. So on Sundays, I try to make time to watch the show because I find it interesting and how they put everything together and the storylines. And actually, over the past 3 or 4 episodes, the storyline started getting better, and that, I think, will draw more people to it and draw more people to your drink.
Yeah, and the season finale this weekend is going to be amazing.
I
so
see it.
Excited for that.
Yeah, I see it happening. And then, you're coming right now. They're coming towards the end of the second season, so you're going to be going into the third season, and this will probably have a good 3+ seasons left in it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the way that the book series, it's based on a book series.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that is tailoring out, I think they're actually doing another book right now. Charlaine Harris is writing another one. But I mean, even all the way back down to the actual person writing the book, I mean, that's the level of, I guess, partnership or collaboration that exists in this entire thing.
Oh, wow.
Alan has he really is an amazing, creative person. It really is incredible, all of the stuff that he's put together.
Well, this is interesting because if you have the writer writing new books, wow, this can go a long time. All right, big score for Alan, big score for you.
It's good score for the people that like the show. I mean,
sure, that of course.
I mean, because it's when you have a show that has a story arc or what have you, Battlestar Galactica is a good example, or Lost. All of these are different types of shows that could be compared as similar. But Lost wasn't based on a book series, and it sort of got lost for a couple of the seasons.
Right.
Battlestar they had trouble because of the writer's strike, and they sort of, in my opinion, didn't end on the strongest note that they could have.
Right.
But this, I mean, is going strong on all 8 cylinders. So if you love the show, I mean, if you haven't seen it, I would definitely start watching it because it's fantastic. But if you're already watching it, yeah, I mean, it's great because it is something that you will be able to continue to enjoy for, years, the next few years. And to know that, it just makes the show so much better. You know what I mean? Because you're not worried, oh, is it going to get canceled, or, oh, is it not going to be on, or, I don't want to get my hopes up.
And
totally, you should get your hopes up.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. But that's the beauty of this, because this is based on a series of books. They're still writing the books, so it's not about someone in an office saying, okay, we have to write this week's show. Okay, and then somebody just gets canned or something happens, and all of a sudden the show is over and they stop at the drop of a dime. This is a commitment on HBO's behalf. Obviously, the fans, the fan base is growing on all the creators involved, and of course the products involved, like yourself. So you have a whole joint effort going on here, and I don't think that the show is going to lose any steam. For me to sit here, for me to watch the show, it's like watching The Sopranos with Fangs.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's actually more popular than The Sopranos was at this point in time.
Well, yeah, I believe it, because you can have certain, like Sopranos, you had a certain type of audience, okay, where with True Blood, okay, you can expand further, because it's not just about gangsters and mobsters. This is something that's a little broader, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's the word that I would use to describe it is fun.
Fun.
And that's what it is. I want to have an hour of fun, just solid hour of fun. Can we do that? And the answer is hell yes.
Yeah.
And have a solid hour of fun every Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
And they're doing a great job.
You're not going to get a bunch of filler. You know what I mean?
Right. No, they're doing a great job. I love the show. I'm a fan. I admit it. I love the show, and I think that there's going to be longevity, and I think the True Blood beverage or drink will have longevity as well. I commend you on what you have done. And I know you have a lot of other products in your chamber for launch at a later date. You have other products now. We want to have you back in the show, Pete, to introduce the other products to our listeners, because I like you. You're a nice guy. You are, again, as I said earlier, you're the epitome of the American dream. You're a fight. You put yourself at risk to do something, to achieve something, and you're doing that. And I think our listeners need to hear stories like that. That's why I want to have you on the show to really go deep into it, so that they can absorb more about what you've done and what you're going to continue to do as the years go on. And yeah, and I'd love to do that. I think that you have a great tie-in with HBO and the series True Blood. As I said, I'm a fan. I think it's just gonna continue to go on and on. I'd love to have some of these guys on the show, but I'm sure we'll get to that at a later date. But I want to thank you for coming on the show, Pete. Again, we want to have you back on so you can tell your story as you're just ramping up in your business. So I want to thank you again for being on the UCW radio show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This has been great.
Oh, awesome. Now, to our listeners, to find out more about True Blood, the drink, go to truebeverage.com and actually, follow the show, True Blood, on HBO Sunday nights. I think that the second season is ending, but definitely it's a great show to watch. And again, from what I'm hearing, the drink is pretty darn good. So give it a shot when it hits FYE and all these other shops. When you see it in there, it costs $4. It's cheaper than you going to Starbucks. So give it a shot. Thanks for tuning in to the UCW Radio Show.
Initiating shutdown sequence. UCW Radio in your face. What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you. My father thanks you. My sister thanks you. And I thanked him.